There's a couple different ways to look at this. Here's what I tell you. Most owners, they don't realize what stage of the business they're in, and they don't understand that what they look at and what they lead as a business owner is different depending on the stage of the organization. Meaning, if you're a solopreneur, what you should focus on is very different once you have a team. Once you have a team, it's very different what you're focused on for the next level of growth. And owners, there's a reason why majority of owners get stuck at the same exact spots. They get stuck to scale with talent, then they get stuck at how to lead executive teams, then they get stuck on how to grow through capital and acquisitions. And if you see it, it's how they get stuck every time. And some people burst through, but most people don't. So the way that we figured out a way to kind of analyze, can I actually share my screen to show a quick, simple little model? Tim, do you mind?
Sure. Let me
pick it up. It looks like I have availability to do it.
You do. Go for it.
I think it'll really help people just see our methodology of how we look at it. So we call this our propeller. Can you see this on the screen?
I can see it.
Awesome. It's very, very simple, not overcomplicated, but you think about this idea that this financial engine is what runs the business. And what you said, it's so hard for business owners. They don't have a financial background. They don't know how to build a perform out for the next 3 or 4 years and create all the scalable widgets within to understand how much their cash threshold should be and how to structure this. You know, most business owners think, I have a bookkeeper, I have a CPA, I understand finance. Like, no, you understand historic financials. You don't understand how to operationally lead current financials and understand future financials. That's where we see a big blind spot. Once we get the financial engine built, we're then looking at the growth side. We're making sure there's enough sales, the pipeline, the conversion, the structure is set up properly. We're making sure the marketing initiatives, the amount of leads coming through the right source and the right cost of acquisition is flowing properly. Once you have the sales in check, then we move over to the capacity side, which is going to be leadership and recruiting. Who do you have in your leadership team? Who's on your bench? Do you have enough sustainability set up to be able to promote and continue the scale? Are you in place to have the right development plans? Do you understand what your attrition rate is? Do you know how to shrink that attrition rate of people? Now we go to recruiting. How many people do you need? I know you know a lot about this, Tim. You spend a lot of time here, right? How many people do you need? Why do you need those people? How do you structure the roles? How do you set them up for accountability to be successful? And then this whole thing is encased by productivity. And that's what makes up the engine, because you have to be productive. Everybody in your organization has to be moving in the same direction with the same amount of productivity levels in order to create growth. And so how we slow this down is we do a deep dive analysis to understand each of these. And our simple example is this. If you have a business and you're trying to take flight and you've got this propeller as your engine, you better believe if you've got 3 out of 10 built out of sales and 6 out of 10 on marketing, maybe 2 out of 10 on leadership, 1 out of 10 on recruiting, that's going to be a bumpy ride, very turbulent, and you could crash and burn. And this is why companies crash and burn, because it's about slowly building out these blades slowly as you get bigger and bigger and bigger at the right speed. So it's a very smooth engine. And this is the methodology of how we run the business and how we take a deep dive into companies, and find this starts to get people to think about their business a little differently when they look through this lens.